Good morning. Now, there's something about this time of the year, Good Friday, Easter Sunday. It's not just a holiday, it's memory, it's tradition, and it's emotion. I know I'm a bit late, but my Easter was very, very busy. Let me know how yours was. Now, for many of us, it takes us right back to being a child. Here in Ontario, Good Friday is a stat holiday. Everything slows down, they close up. And when I was growing up, especially being raised around the Catholic faith, Good Friday meant something very specific. It was the day Jesus was crucified. A quiet day, a serious day. And one thing I remember very clearly, you did not eat meat. That was the rule. No questions asked. But what's interesting is I wasn't really raised going to church when I was very young. I grew up on a farm, and life there was different. It was simple, busy, grounded in survival more than structure. It wasn't until I lived with my aunt in the big city for grade 1 that church became part of my life. And not just occasionally, it was every Sunday. I can still see it so very clearly. Little girls dressed up in frilly dresses or new dresses, white gloves, and those fancy little hats. Some were like a headband, but special, like you were going somewhere important. And there I was, a 6-year-old little girl, very small for my age, walking alone. And I had to walk about 2 miles to church all by myself. And the hardest part was crossing the highway. Now, back then, it wasn't as busy as it is today. But to a little girl, it felt like the scariest thing in the world. I remember standing there crying, afraid to cross, not knowing what to do. And more times than I can count, a stranger would stop, get out of their vehicle, and help me across. When I think about that now, I don't just remember the fear, I remember the kindness. Even in those moments of being alone, someone always showed up. And then just 2 days later, everything changed. Easter Sunday, this was the day I loved. In our family, Easter meant togetherness. We colored eggs, and I still do that to this day. There's something so simple and yet so beautiful about those colored eggs, sitting on the table, maybe surrounding the ham or the turkey. It wasn't just food, it was tradition. It was love and Easter dinner. Always a big family gathering in my family, always. Now, when I think back to when my children were young, Easter was different than today. It wasn't like Christmas. It was simpler, but somehow it felt just as special. The kids would get a big chocolate bunny or rabbit, whatever, a basket of candy, skipping ropes, and those really long ones were the best. marbles, jacks, jumping jacks, little pails and shovels for the beach, outdoor toys, simple things, but they meant everything. Now I watch my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, and Easter has changed. It's become bigger, more like Christmas, more gifts, more everything. And while it's different, the heart of it is still the same. One tradition we've always kept is the Easter egg hunt. But in our family, it's not from the Easter Bunny, it's from us, the adults. A gift to the children. And I love that because it's not about magic from somewhere else. It's about love right in front of them. We fill those hollow plastic eggs with candy and toys. We have big ones, small ones that we hide all over the house. The children find them all, and then we empty them. Divide the candy and toys evenly for the children. We would love to be able to have this event outside, but here in Ontario, Canada, there is still tons of snow. There has only been, I think, a couple of years so far that it has been later in April, or Easter has been later in April, that the snow had gone and it was dried up enough to have it outside, which is so much more fun. When I look at Good Friday and Easter now, I see more than religion. I see contrast. Good Friday represents struggle, fear, pain, and sacrifice. And Easter Sunday represents hope, new beginnings, life starting again. And isn't that just like life? We all go through our Good Fridays, moments where we feel alone, afraid, unsure how we're going to cross that road in front of us. But somehow, some way, we get through it. And then comes our Easter. A new beginning, a fresh start, a reminder that life doesn't stay in the dark. Even nature shows us that. After a long winter, everything comes back to life. And so do we. We can feel it in the air. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What were your Easter traditions growing up? Or maybe what traditions have you started with your own family? Please share them in the comments. I read them all. And I truly love hearing your stories. And if this touched you in any way, help my channel grow so we can reach more people like you. Like, share, and subscribe. Because your story matters too. And it's never too late to create new traditions. You all have a great day.